I'm going to try to do part 3 of movie reviews. I don't know if it'll go as well as I would like because of the restrictions we have and whatnot, but I have many and I'm going to try to do them in order that I think you should view them. First is Greenland. Greenland is starring Gerard Butler, who's a great actor, and it tries to do pandemic type atmosphere, and I thought it was very well done. It's definitely worth watching if you are looking for something to watch. The acting was great, the screenplay was pretty good, and the intensity was very good for the type of movie they made, I thought. Okay, I'm just going to keep going quickly here. Number 2 is a movie I just watched today. It's called Twin Flower. The only place I could find it was the library, ironically enough, but it was starred 2 young first-time actors and actresses. I thought they did a pretty good job. It's not something I would rush out and recommend, but it was very well done, set in Italy and about a gentleman who flees the Ivory Coast and what happens. You can imagine the scenario. So I thought it was pretty well done. I don't know if it'll win any awards, but it was a good job by the director, all in all, and a good message is what I like. Number 3 is something you can find on YouTube. It's called Tracks. True story about a girl who walks with a camel. You wouldn't think it was an interesting story, but I thought it was riveting and great, and acting was very good, and the things she goes through is something that you can only imagine. If I hadn't told you it was true, you probably might not believe that the story is true. Just a fantastic movie, I thought. Something I've seen a couple years ago, but still worth watching. Next is Unhinged with Russell Crowe, who I think is a great actor, but in this movie the plot lets him down, doesn't allow him to make his best work, and the plot is not believable in my eyes. Maybe if it's just something for a lark you want to watch, then it's it's one of those outrage movies where he blows up, but these days to be blowing up over nothing seems not something worth my time. Next one is called Siberia with Willem Dafoe, one of our great actors. I remember first seeing him in Platoon. I thought he did a great job. He hasn't reached that level again in his movies, but he's still a good actor. This movie is what the young kids would call a mind blank. It really messes with you, and if you're not into that, if you're not into Carl Jung, then avoid it. Don't spend the time thinking, oh, I'll try to watch it and just see how it goes. It is not worth your time unless you're totally invested in watching. But if you're into that type of stuff, then you'll enjoy it. But I don't think many people are having the mindset to watch that. The next, if I can find it, the next one is Honest Thief with Liam Neeson. He seems to be in almost every movie cropping up these days. This was a movie that was, again, not believable, but if you like one of those crime, robber things, I mean, if you like that type of movie, go watch Robert Redford's latest. I think it's called The Man with a Gun or something like that. You can look it up. That was very well done. This may have tried to copy that, and it wasn't well done. So don't waste your time watching Liam in this one. He's so good in so many others. Don't waste time on this one. The next one is Songbird, getting a lot of, it certainly spent a lot of money advertising. I think it wanted to be the first out to do a movie about the pandemic, and it is a swing and a miss, definitely. This thing, you're going to give up. After about 10 minutes, you're going to think, this is not worth my time, and I would agree with you. It is not worth anyone's time. And I think that, the last one I watched was a Chinese movie called Women Who Flirt, and I just wanted to mention it for those who may be Chinese. I've often wondered why Chinese movies are so bad. I've come up with a list of reasons that I could do a whole video on. First of all, they're not good actors and actresses. which is a shame because there's so many things they could do good movies on, but I found the reason. It took me a while, but I finally found the reason is that they try to make movies quickly to make more money, and they don't end up doing a good job on the movies, which is a shame because they could really make some good movies. They have great topics, they have great scenery and stuff like that, but they're just trying to do them quickly. And I have walked by a couple, when I was in China, I walked by a couple scenes when they were filming. They try to do it on the cheap, with limited amount of money spent on resources, and it ends up being I won't say a shoddy project, but it ends up being not polished. And then of course the actresses, they just overact and underdeliver, if I can say that quickly without getting into too much depth. So you don't get a product that's something you want to watch. You get a movie, but it's not worth my time, at least. A couple other things I wanted to mention, in case you're not aware, that would be well worth spending your time on. The first one is 60 Minutes Australia. They do, in my mind, some of the great videos, or they're short documentaries, I guess, not documentaries, but they're short takes on different topics, and they do some great work. So if you want to check them out on YouTube, I've found their stuff to be what I want to watch on different people and topics that are important, not fantasy and all this type of stuff. The next one is Michael Franzese. He's a former mobster. He's, I think, the only one who's been able to walk away from the mob without punishment, let's say, if you know what I mean. And he's now, well, he says he's a Christian. I'm not going to question his motives, but I've seen some stuff that makes me not question it, but just wonder. I'll leave it at that. You can see him on Instagram or on YouTube. And if you're interested in finding out real stories about the mob, he is the place to go. He is the source. He's the source of all the... When somebody wants to know what really happened, they go to him. I remember reading his book when it first came out, maybe 20, 25 years ago, and it was fascinating. He did a thing where he stole the tax money from the government in the U.S. I mean, what he did was not good, but he ended up taking a lot, millions and millions of dollars. So he's not the greatest guy for what he did, but he's an interesting man to listen to if you want to understand stories about that. And then if you're into politics, U.S. politics, the only, well, not the only, but one of the best sources to go to is Jimmy Dore, D-O-R-E. He's not compromised like they are on MSNBC or Fox News. So you're going to get real takes and learn a lot of information that you won't see on the mainstream media, let's say. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to do a whole video on mainstream media and how poor it is. And it's almost become propaganda, which is a shame. And I'll leave you with a couple last things. For those who want to have a good laugh, if you're into having a laugh and you haven't heard, the comedian to watch is Bill Burr. He's done, I think, 4 specials that I've seen. His latest is called Paper Tiger, and he will have you rolling around. He is just so funny and so real and genuine. The only caveat is I wish he'd, if not eliminate, at least reduce the number of F-bombs he uses. That takes away from my enjoyment, but when I watched, it wasn't a big thing then. You kind of have to just put up with it because he's not going to change his style just for me. So that's it for now. Those are some recommendations, and I'm going to do something else to give you some recommendations on podcasts next time, okay? Okay, thanks, bye.